It's time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
We're here in Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the 10th annual Johnny Appleseed Festival and the Lumberjack competition. We got a fantastic field of competitors from all over North America, 77 in total, competing for over $14,000 in prize money. Well, this is my 4th time to Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival, named after John Chapman, born in the 1700s. He is actually the guy who introduced apple trees to the state of Pennsylvania. Well, this event is not seen anywhere in North America. In total, we had 17 competitors compete in this event. We're going to be showing you the top 2 heats. This first heat, we got Adam Lasalle taking on Cecil Starr. Now, explain exactly what a handicap system here is in lumberjack sports, where we've got a range of competitors that have never done it before to some of the best in the world.
Obviously, it's very similar to what a handicap system is in golf. The better you get, the lower your handicap goes. In lumberjack sports, actually, the handicap is reverse of that. The better you are, the higher your handicap, because what happens is on the word go, the announcer will start counting 1, 2, 3 seconds off until he gets to whatever the highest handicap is. In this event, it happens to be 100 for the world champ, Mitch Jewett.
Now, Adam Lasalle actually started on the 50-second mark. Cecil Starr started on the 59-second mark. And you see the guys taking it a little bit gingerly. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. So you see not quite the same amount of energy as the regular springboard event. They're taking it easy, taking it slow, and most of all, playing it safe. You can see Adam Lasalle, he's throwing his boards down. And at this point in time, he's already climbed up 3 boards, chopped halfway through his block, and he's got to catch his breath as well.
2 things happening here. Number 1, some of the guys are scared of heights. Usually they only go up 2 boards in springboard event. This one they're going up 3. The second thing is it's a 4-minute event, so most of these guys are going to chop here for 4 to 5 minutes. So you're right, it is a marathon, and they do have to pace themselves. And also the other factor that happens once they get up on the 3rd board, 10 feet off the ground, is they're worrying about their nerves and their balance.
Coming up in the end of the first heat here, Cecil Starr looks like he's going to take down Adam Lasalle. He's just over 5 minutes right now. And there it is, Cecil Starr winning the first heat of the 3-board jigger here in Johnny Appleseed Festival. That's quite an adventure. Just tell me your experience in that, or is that your first time?
When I was in Australia a few years ago, well, 10 or 12 years ago, I did it down there. And the first time I did it, it's wild being up that high chopping compared to what we're used to. But do it here once a year, and actually, I enjoy it a bit. It's kind of really scared of the heights or falling or nothing, as long as it's not too bad. But I'm not really good at it. You get a lot of little mistakes. The whole thing about the 3-board, talking to Mitch on the way down there, is just so many. Don't make the little mistakes, and I made a pile of them there, and you can knock 30 seconds off your time, right? So it's lots to improve, but not too bad.
Okay, this next heat will be the final heat. We got Jason McCadden starting on the count of 30. Nathan Waterfield taking on Mitch Jewett. Nathan's actually going to start on 80, and Mitch Jewett, one of the best in the world, is going to be starting on the count of 100. That's 1.5 minutes.
And the American champion right now, reigning champion Matt Coger, he's going to start on 75. So this will be a great heat to watch. And here we go. Jason's already off.
He's off in a 30 count, and he's going to have a 70-second head start on Mitch Jewett, who's going to go last in this heat. So he's got himself, and I don't know if Jason's done this before. He's from Auburn, New York, relative newcomer to the sport of lumberjacks, and he's obviously done the springboard chop. Likely his first time here doing the 3-board jigger.
3-board jigger done a lot down in Australia, New Zealand. That's where we see it a lot, of course, and that's where Mitch Jewett has won the, I think he's like the 12th or 14th time he's won the 3-board jigger board. So it's going to be fun to watch Mitch when he starts. Again, he's got a whole, minute and a half almost behind the rest of the field when he starts.
Oh, it looks like Jason almost lost his board there, and part of the strategy is being able to set your board on the board you're standing on. He's got a good board set there, looks pretty comfortable with it, and there goes Matt Coger. He's off to the race. He's going to try and track down Jason McCadden, and he's Oh, he looks like he's really got a sloppy notch there. He's going to want to deal with that. I'm not sure.
He's actually butchered the notch here, and you can see there's a little wall of wood left at the top. It has to be clean on the top. Doesn't matter how good of a competitor you are. If you don't get that little wall of wood out, it's going to peel out. And that's exactly what happened. His board bounced out of that.
Yeah, and Matt Kroger started 5 seconds before Nathan Waterfield. Nathan has already overtaken Matt with that 5-second disadvantage. And here comes Mitch Jewett, 20 seconds after Nathan, and he was starting on the count of 100. He's going to try and track him down.
This is going to be a showcase event here. Watch Mitch Jewett. He does this all the time. It's just like clockwork watching him go with this event.
He knows exactly where to put his board on top of the board. Watch him grab the second board here. 4-hit notch. He's going to grab the second board, jam it in, and he's comfortable with that notch as he gets up top of his third board.
So see why Mitch looks so smooth is he does this all the time. He trains the 3-board jigger board, so he knows every stroke is so efficient. He knows where his boards are going. He knows where his axe is going. He knows what he needs to do. And his notches, Mitch always has 4 to 6 stroke notches. So again, it's just a poetry in motion to watch Mitch Jewett do a 3-board jigger.
Time to beat, 450, set by Dave Engasser in an earlier heat. Mitch Jewett bounces his way down to the bottom, back on the ground. Now about to start his 4th board. First board on the second side.
And he's just under 3 minutes. So Mitch has got a great pace going here. He should have no problem actually tracking down the fastest time here as we see Nathan Waterfield also getting ready to descend and start climbing his second side of his pole.
He's overtaken everybody in the field right now. Jason McCadden, who started 70 seconds ahead of him. There he is. He's now about to put the notch in for his 6th and final board. Nathan's going to try and track him down. He started 20 seconds ahead of Mitch. He's not going to catch Mitch.
Mitch is doing a 6-stroke pocket on the top just to make sure that top board is going to stay well, because again, he's going to do the second side here. This is the last stage of Mitch's jigger board here as he gets ready to put in his final side.
And Mitch Jewett is very comfortable with his 6th and final board. He's got his back cut just slightly above his front cut. He's going to put some drivers in after opening up a face there. And look at those nice clean cuts after about 3-4 minutes of chopping. He's still right on his mark, and Mitch Jewett wins a 3-board jigger in time of 3:44.83.
Well, what a treat watching the world champ take down the field here at Johnny Appleseed.
Every time I watch you do a springboard chop, I try and do a critical analysis on your chopping, but it's very difficult when you're talking to one of the best guys in the world. Can you give me a critical analysis on that performance you just put on?
Oh, it was a reasonable cut. Like, I was pretty happy. Had to do a 6-hitter there up the back, but just to make sure of it. Other than that, it went pretty smooth and yeah, no problems.
Now, when you come down the first half there, you got the crowd oohing and awing because you got that master down as well. You bounced down there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's a routine that you just practice and you don't even think about it. You just come down and set yourself up for the back. So yeah, it's just practice.
Well, certainly there's practice involved, but there's a whole lot of years of experience there for Mitch Jewett as well. He annihilates the field by almost a minute over Nathan Waterfield. But we're back here in Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival. We are now heading into the women's standing block chop. In total, we had 15 competitors, 3 heats of 5. We're going to be showing the top 2 heats. This first heat, we got Martha King, who's a graduate of Penn State Mount Alto University, and taking on Nancy Zaleski, who's more of a sawing specialist. Here she is in the chopping game.
And again, standing block chop, not an event that the ladies do a whole lot of. So again, new event for a lot of the girls. Some of them have done this a little bit in college, but again, it's another event, more points towards their overall tally, so they've got to get the job done.
Now, in a game like a standing block chop or any other chopping event, when you're new at it, accuracy is so critically important because you're going to have some power there, but you don't want to waste any energy. You're going to be running out of energy towards the top of this, and you can see Martha King, some pretty good lines there. Nancy has got a lot of power, but, you know, she's got a wide open face there. She's got to work on her accuracy.
The other thing you can notice as well, Bill, they've got their lines drawn on that they actually want to try to follow, so the block comes off quite smoothly. You can see the 2 girls we're looking at here right now are off their lines a fair bit as Nancy moves around to side number 2. That's going to affect them here. You can see right here, Martha's actually a little bit low from where she wants to be in the backside. When it goes to drive it off here in a couple of swings, you're going to realize that she's driving into the bottom, what we call the stump of the wood, and it's not going to come off very smooth.
Now, Martha King is obviously fairly physically fit there. She picks up the pace a little bit here. She's maybe driving a little bit too early and also driving her axe in a little bit straight. She takes one more bottom chip out, and there it is. Martha King winning the first heat of the women's standing block chop in just over a minute, with Nancy Zaleski right behind her. Good chop. You seem to struggle on your first side finishing, whether you're going to clean it all out, put some blows in. You went kind of back and forth. Just tell me about the last 6 or 7 strokes on your front side.
Well, I always struggle with that because I have a tough time reading the wood. I haven't been doing this for a very long time. So I guess I was getting a little frantic, a little frazzled because I heard the other girls starting to go around.
Yeah, because you were trying to put some drivers in, then you said, oh, I think I'm going to take one more round, right?
Right, yeah. But I still came off first, so that's all right.
So in this next heat, we're going to be watching Peg Engasser take on Erin Lavoie, as well as several other ladies. But in that last heat, you see a couple things happening wrong there at the very end. Number one, Martha's block, she drives it off with an upswing, which you typically don't want to do, and also Nancy Zalewski's block, it pops right in the air. So, of course, you know that she's actually driving into the stump. So they want to try to correct those things, follow those lines a little bit better, and their chops will go a whole lot faster.
Now, Peg Engasser in this heat probably got more experience in the women's standing block than any other woman on this stage. Erin Lavoie, an excellent chopper, an excellent athlete. She's going to give her a run for the money. And Peg Engasser, probably uncharacteristically, not really following her lines very well. Peg has got to be a really good technical chopper to be able to win these heats. Erin Lavoie, wide open face.
And Erin, look at that, not even breathing hard. She's in great physical condition, which is great. Peg Engasser, she's not a big girl. She's got to use every bit of her strength, and she's doing a great job here as she gets the big chips out and starts getting into the smaller wood, getting ready to drive this off.
Looks like Peg Engasser picking up her pace a little bit. She's chipping a couple more times at the bottom there, ready to drive things off. Both women are trying to drive things off. Erin's got to reach for her far wood. Peg's got to reach for her far wood. And Peg Engasser wins the women's standing block chop with a time of 43.70 over Erin Lavoie. I was watching your cut rather closely there, and it seems that you stuck to your pattern very, very accurate. You were 4, working around a 4. Is that accurate?
Yes, yeah, on 10-inch wood, I can go 2 up, 2 down.
And you didn't deviate from that at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you only take one driver up before making your turn to the backside, or did you take 2?
I don't remember. I don't know. I have to go to the tape.
Well, with a field with this much talent, it's very impressive that Martha King placed in the top 5 just out of college. But Peg Engasser taking first place in the women's standing block with a 43.7.
And many thanks to all the organizers and sponsors of the Johnny Appleseed Festival, now in its 10th year, and the Lumberjack competition is a huge success every Columbus Day weekend in Sheffield, Pennsylvania. We have many of the best competitors from all over the United States and quite a few from Canada as well. In total, we're going to be showing you the top 3 heats in the men's single buck. Chris Bradshaw taking on Jason Lenz, 2 towers of powers from West Virginia.
And of course, that's what you need in the single buck. Big, strong guys that pull a long blade. Jason Lenz, a couple of bobbles here, getting his saw started. Chris Bradshaw, he's in really small, short strokes, but look at that blade eat this pine. Oh, Chris Bradshaw has a hang-up.
And Jason Lenz catches a raker as well. Just as things drop off, he comes in with a time of 14.49. We still have 2 strong heats to come. You had a great cut going there, and Slingerland just caught you at the very end. Just tell me what the bottom third of your cut.
Yeah, it was... Lasalle was a bit hungry, and like they said, I was over in Australia there the past 6 weeks or so, cutting hardwood, and it's a bit different to get back to and cut this softwood, but hung up there on the last stroke, and it cost me.
Yeah, the problem there isn't necessarily the gullets filling up. I see Jason actually rocking the saw a lot. He's changing his angle a lot, and then he hit the toe of his blade, came back and actually stuck in the wood. So caused him all kinds of problems there, and he's going to wish he had that saw back.
Well, we have 2 heats yet to go. This is Matt Slingerland taking on Marcel Dupuis. Marcel, one of the best single buckers in all of Canada. Matt Slingerland, son of Mike Slingerland, who actually won that last heat against Jason Lenz. We didn't see him on camera.
And Matt has a really hard time starting out, but Marcel Dupuis wasting no time getting into his technique here in the single buck. He's sinking that blade really fast. Marcel's going to take this heat in 12.7 seconds over Matt Slingerland.
Terrific job there by Marcel, keeping that blade level all the way through the cut. Marcel, pretty good cut, fantastic race there. Just tell me about your cut. You're looking at the wood afterwards. Were you happy with the way your saw was dropping?
Yeah, excellent. It changed, like on the top, the wood seemed to be a bit firmer, and on the middle it got a bit heavy. So I don't know if I changed my technique a bit or what happened, but it was harder to pull in the middle of the block. So.
Great job there by Marcel. Now he has the time to beat at 12.72 heading into this last heat. We got Adam Lasalle taking on Dave Jewett, a battle we saw earlier in the chopping event.
So this is a rubber match, and of course we know Dave Jewett wants his back, and of course this is Dave's event. He's a world champion at the single buck, and we're going to see him throw everything he has into the single buck.
Now here's a technique on the right-hand side by Dave Jewett. You can see him using all the blade, throwing that saw through the wood, pulling it back, cutting every inch of wood that he can.
And Dave Jewett's going to win the men's single buck here at Johnny Appleseed with a time of 12.1 seconds, showing us world championship form.
It looked like you were really laboring there. You know, there's something about the wood, but that wasn't a classic Dave Jewett song.
No, I you know, all the times leading up to this were in the 12-second range. And yeah, this is a 9-second. This size wood, 9 seconds ought to win it. But I put the starter cut in. I go, holy cow! I feel like my saw is dull, but there was hard compression wood at the top. But all these logs are even, so I said, okay, let's just go for it. And I was trying a new saw today that I bought, and we'll see. I don't know if I won it or not. I know I won the heat, but it's gonna be tight. Mike Slingham's pretty fast.
Well, one of the key factors of a good lumberjack competition is evenly matched wood. Look at that range, 12.13 to 12.72 for the top 5 guys on the board, with Dave Jewett winning it. And we are heading into the last event of the Johnny Appleseed Festival Lumberjack Competition. In total, we had 77 competitors competing for over $14,000 in prize money. And always ending the events are the hot saw competitions. We had over 30 competitors competing in this. It's 3 cuts, 16 inches, no, actually 18 inches of wood in the white pine. This first heat, we're going to be featuring Matt Slingerland taking on Paul Koger.
And Paul Koger, of course, the father of Matt Koger, the reigning American champion right now, and he is no slouch at all in the hot saw event. I expect him to win this event.
Both guys into the wood at the exact same time. Both guys now in their 3rd cut, and Paul Koger flawlessly wins this heat with a time of 6.10. A terrific display of hot sawing by Paul Koger from Diana, West Virginia. Paul, this is a game where experience means a whole lot. I mean, you just beat a bunch of young guys there. Just tell me about what experience means in hot sawing.
Oh, experience plays a big role in it because of a lot of these young guys, they want too much motor, and then they ain't got the experience of running them, and they get messed up a little bit with them.
And you've done it for many, many years, so you can just, you know what your capabilities are, you know what your saw can do, you can probably relax a little more, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more than these young guys.
Well, we still got 3 heats to go. 6.10 is time to beat by Paul Koger, Chris Bradshaw, Mike Slingerland coming up. Mike Slingerland, often known as Mr. Wood Miser. We've seen him for many years on Lumberjacks TV series. And Chris Bradshaw, another guy from West Virginia.
Well, both guys really love to put the weight on this hot saw event when they get into the wood. And we're off and going. And Chris Bradshaw's the first guy in the wood. Mike Slingerland, all kinds of trouble on the right.
Chris Bradshaw wins the heat with a 6.08, and he takes the time to beat down by a couple of tenths of a second. Chris, you gotta be happy with that run. Just tell me a little bit about your saw.
I'm tickled to death. This is the first time all year the motors actually seemed like it was on mark. So, tickled to death. The thing of it is I'm switching it over to gas next year because I've been fighting it all year. It's on alcohol now, but it is a Honda CR250. It's got quite a bit of work done to the center, to the cylinder. But a friend of mine, Matt Price, from down in Bedford, Pennsylvania, he assembled the motor. I got the frame from Mr. Cahoon out in California, but it's kind of depressing now. I finally got it to hit right.
Great job there by Chris Bradshaw. Lowers the time to beat down to 6.08. Still 2 heats to come. We got Canadian Marcel Dubuis taking on our host here at the Johnny Appleseed Festival, Nathan Waterfield. This should be a great race.
Well, Marcel Dupuis had a little bit of trouble this year running his own saw. At the big shows, usually he grabs Paul Woodland's saw and takes it down. I'll be interested to see what he's running here in this heat.
He's running a Paul Woodland saw. There it is. Nathan Waterfield into the cut. And great job there by Nathan Waterfield. Lowers the time to beat down to 5.39. That is going to be tough to beat with only 1 heat to go. Over the years, we've seen a lot of adventures from you with the hot saw, but that wasn't what we would call an adventure. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I've been working really hard on the hot saw. You know, initially when I started hot sawing, I was hot sawing just because it was another event that I needed to learn how to do. And over the years, you know, I kind of just put it off to the side, and it was just never trained. I just kind of ran the saw and expected to get better. This year, over the winter time, got very serious with training, working on chains, working on my saw, and it's starting to come together. So now it's more or less making my 3 cuts. Fast is always there. So it's a good thing. It's fun to run the saws now, and I really enjoy it. So it's quite the difference than when I started.
I mean, it's a marriage between man and machine, and clearly you're apparently happily married right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny when guys are down on their luck and the hot saws aren't running well. They're all dirty. They're covered in oil and whatever. But the guys who, they start to have success, all of a sudden they start to clean them and take care of them. So it is funny how that relationship sort of develops.
Well, pretty much a flawless cut there by Nathan Waterfield. 5.39 is going to be very tough to beat going into only 1 more heat to go. Donald Lambert taking on Melvin Lenz. These guys can do it.
Well, the Rico man from Canada, Donald Lambert, he's a veteran veteran competitor from Canada, always awesome in the hot saw, and the king of the Lumberjacks, Melvin, multi-time world champion. This ought to be a great race.
18 inches round, they're going to have to be flawless. A little bit of a mistake there by Donald Lambert at the beginning of his first cut. Donald Lambert wins the heat as Melvin has struggles, but he's not going to win the hot saw. Donald Lambert comes in with a 5-6-1. Nathan Waterfield wins the hot saw. Johnny Appleseed. Hey, you got that heat with 5 excellent sawyers there, and you had a big mistake.
Well, I was too close from the end of the log, so I just slipped out a little bit. So, well, that was not my plan, but, well, things happened.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously your saw is running really well. To be able to take on Melvin Lenz, Dave Jewett, Arden Koger, and Dave Engasser, and you still came on top with making a mistake. You got to be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, well, I'm pleased. Well, basically what I try to do, it's a good start, to start it and put it on the wood, so, but I slip a little bit, so time would be probably a little bit better, but well, I'm really pleased of winning that heat at least.
Thank you. Merci.
Bienvenue.
Always spectacular, the hot saw competition ending any good lumberjack competition. Nathan Waterfield does it to perfection with a 5.39.
And the crown pivotal point today focused on young Trevor Beaudry from New Hampshire. First time with the big guns, and he actually does really well, finishing in the top 5 in the underhand chop.
And our lumberjack overall standings here at the Johnny Appleseed Festival, both in the women's division and the men's division, are now in the books. Both divisions very, very close, with only 50 points separating the top competitors.
And the K100 Lumberjack and Lumberjill of the day puts a spotlight square on Peg Engasser and Arden Koger Jr., who win their respective divisions.
The growth in this event has been phenomenal over the last 10 years. Many thanks to Rick and Sandy Satili, Holly and Nathan Waterfield for putting it on. Come back again next time when it'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Dickies, quality workwear since 1922. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Been asked by different people about the importance of your starter cord. It's more than just a rope with a handle on it. It needs to be set upright so your saw is just be on top dead center. It needs to be the exact number of turns you want that you need to start your saw with. A lot of guys run 2, 1 to warm up with, which is longer. You can't win a race, you can't start. Then hooked to it is a tether, not to be confused with a heather, which is a cute little girl from Canada. The tether is very important so my cord doesn't go fly over and hit another competitor. I use a pair of vice grips on mine. If I'm outside, if I'm getting ready to compete, just before the warm-up, something's loose, something's bad, I can use this. I can also snap it onto the stage. And it has to be, one time I tied onto a rake at a show. A guy came over to clean up, took the rake, and there my cord went as the starter went. I was out.